Duke Succulus is a fairly simple boss and one of the easiest of the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. This video will help you understand the fight mechanics and start getting multiple KC trips with ease. So whether it's your first kill at Duke or you just need help being more consistent, I got you. Now here's what I recommend for gear. Bring your best melee set, and if you've got Arclight, bring that for sure. Duke will take increased damage from Arclight since he counts as a demon. I bring Light Barrier for multiple trips, but if you're just looking for a solo kill, bring something else like Berserker or Brimstone. I'd also recommend a BGS for your spec weapon. This will slam Duke with damage and also lower his defense for your fight. For your inventory, you'll want double eats of course, and potions for the fight like Super Combat, Prayer, and Stamina. Feel free to copy my inventory if you'd like. Besides the consumables, you'll also need Pestle and Mortar, a pickaxe, and I'd also recommend Thralls for extra damage, but those aren't necessary. So each Duke KC starts off by prepping 2 potions that wake the sleeping Duke so you can begin fighting it. So make room in your inventory and work your way up towards either the left or right side of the room. You need to make it past the falling rocks and the mini Dukes that will occasionally do a blast cone that will freeze you and damage you heavily. Notice how once they start moving their mouse around, that's when they're about to do their attack. So use that as a visual cue to help you avoid that damage at all costs. Once you make it to the end of the runway, gather 2 of the mushrooms there and grind them down with your pestle and mortar. Run back and try your best to avoid any of the damaging effects. It's especially important to not take any damage during this whole fight, because if you're able to avoid all avoidable damage, your loot quantity will be 50% higher, and that'll make your drops a lot more valuable. So once you've gotten those 2 mushrooms gathered and ground down, you need to do the same but from the other side of the room. Make it towards the end of the second runway and gather 2 more mushrooms. Grind them down and head back. Now you need to gather one last material, and that's why you have your pickaxe. So make your way to these salt mines and be careful of the poison gas that spawns from the vents nearby. Mine 2 salts from here and head to either of the fermenting barrels in the front of the room. With the materials that you've collected, you can make 2 poisons and then start the actual fight. Walk up to the Succulus and use both poisons on him. This is where you'll use your super combat potion and then spec him with BGS to lower his defense. The spec opener is also where I'd fire up my first thrall for extra DPS. And make sure you pray melee the entire fight and use piety of course. Now the mechanics are fairly straightforward and don't vary at all really. He'll do a slam down attack and you need to hide behind the wall beside you to avoid that damage. There will be unavoidable chip damage that hits through prayers, but don't worry about that and it will not ruin your perfect kill. He will use an ability where he opens his mouth and a massive eye comes out. Stay hidden behind the closest wall or you will get slammed badly by this. There is a sound cue of when you can safely return to attacking after this ability, and it sounds like this. So once you hear that noise, you can resume attacking Duke and continue wall hiding to avoid each slam. Besides the slam and the massive eyeball ability, Duke will also spit poison at you, making you run to the opposite side of the room. If your timing is right, you can avoid all damage during this attack and even squeeze an attack of your own. Once you see your true tile indicator on this tile and you're ahead of the poison, you can attack safely and then get behind the nearest wall before the next slam down. And once you've been through all of those abilities, the fight doesn't change from there. It just keeps cycling through the various mechanics until you've defeated Big Duculus. You'd be surprised that once you get the hang of this fight, you can avoid all of Duke's damage quite easily, and it's just the mistakes on prep that will scuff a run. So if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching, and all I ask is that you leave a like on the video, as that helps me out greatly. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!